to ride 25 miles to Greenville to mail this letter, I had to tell you that I wouldn't come back yet, Minnie. Not much in Indianola has changed since you left.
Left nothing. Minnie Cox was chased out of here because she feared for her life. And I should know. As a Choctaw who grew up in Indianola first, long before it was Indianola, I know a thing or two about being chased from my home.
I, James Vardaman, stand before you good citizens of Indianola, Mississippi today, not as editor of the local paper, but as a God-fearing white man who isn't going to sit by and let the president of these United States, which we in the South have only recently rejoined after our devastating loss in the Civil War, tell me how to live my life. It is 1903, brothers and sisters. Like we haven't suffered enough, I must suffer a Negro wench as our postmistress? That is an annual salary of $1,100 Minnie Cox is collecting, an unheard of sum for a colored. Will you really stand by and watch her prosper while so many of our white brothers can't keep food on the table? If you let this slide, I can only imagine what degradation the white folks of Indianola will be forced to stomach next as we get trampled on by these uppity.
Happy New Year, Mrs. Dawson. What can I do for you today?
Happy New Year to you, Miss Cox. Here's the money I owe. You did not have to pay my postal fees, although it is a kindness I hope to one day repay.
Thank you, Miss Dawson. You didn't have to do that, but I'm glad to be the first to know what's coming to our little post office here in Indianola. I know it's 1903 already, but this is terribly modern.
A telephone?
Yes, I am celebrating because our post office just got promoted to a third-class station.
Oh, due to your hard work, Miss Cox. Do you ever sleep?
Thank you, Miss Dawson, for those kind words. But I also ordered the phone for my patrons, some like you, who have to walk quite a ways, can just call and see if you have mail. Might save you a trip into town.
The United States government is paying to have a telephone installed. Tell me, is that part of our promotion to third class?
Not the government, no.
The phone is coming out of your purse? No, Miss Cox, we can't let you do that.
It's already paid for. They're installing it tomorrow. And call me Minnie.
I'm Alice.
M-I, crooked letter, I. Crooked letter, I. Humpback, I. I am Minnie Cox, and my parents were slaves. But I was the first female African-American woman to be served as postmaster. I served under 3 presidents.
I'm Alice, just Alice, citizen of Indianola, Mississippi at the turn of the 20th century. Population 3,000.
And this was my home before the lumber mill on the river, which brought the outsiders. I was here long before any of you set foot here. I love this land, and I believe I'm the keeper of its heart. I am Ola, Choctaw princess and a seer.
You're who our town is named for, Indianola.
Don't call me an Indian.
Sorry, Ola.
You a seer. What do you see? M-I, crooked letter, I. Crooked letter,
I, for one, will not tolerate a Negro wench as postmaster. It makes Indianola a laughing stock. I say we write President Roosevelt and demand Minnie Cox's resignation.
This is Minnie Cox, Postmaster of Indianola, Mississippi, was appointed in 1891 by President Harrison.
You tell him, President Roosevelt, let that old bully Vardaman have it.
Yes, but
nothing, and I was only appointed after they couldn't find a white Republican who qualified for the job, you redneck.
Redneck? I don't like that term any more than I like Indian.
Well, here redneck is for farmers, well, for white farmers who work outside all the time, so they get sunburned on the necks.
And this joker here gave himself that nickname.
Well, joker or not, this man is dangerous, and he speaks for many. Men of hate like him come a dime a dozen, and there's one born in every generation. One tyrant dies and another springs up. But this one, they will call him the Great White Chief, and he will become governor of Mississippi. Wait and see.
but President Grover Cleveland replaced Minnie Cox in '92.
And Postmaster Cox was reappointed in 1897 by President McKinley. I've heard nothing but praise for Mrs. Cox's efficiency, and from all reports, Mrs. Minnie Cox is a quiet, reliable public servant. So what is your claim against her, other than the color of her skin?
We, the citizens of Indianola, demand her immediate resignation.
Oh, you do you?
We have Jim Crow laws that overrun your Reconstruction plans, and the whites want the blacks out of leadership positions. We don't want us, so you can have her back. Return to SENDER.
Then who will take her place? I have no one suitable for the appointment at this time.
Me. I will step in for the good of the people of Mississippi. I'll take the job, be glad for such a handsome salary.
Unacceptable. Your request is hereby denied, and I respectfully request that you do not bother this office again with such a claim.
So Vardaman wanted you out to take your job.
But President Roosevelt took your side, Minnie. He took our side.
And then this happened.
Yes, I remember.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vardaman. I was just getting ready to close up for today.
Phone? When did we get a phone? It's mighty fancy around here.
It's been a real good blessing being able to help folks out. They can just call and see if they have mail instead.
Look, Minnie, I'm sure your husband misses you at home.
Sir,
We think it's time you resign.
we?
Citizens of Indianola. Did you hear me, Minnie? We think it's time you resign.
But it's a federal appointment. My term doesn't end until 1904. That's another year still.
I've been reading the news. Do you read the news, Minnie? Like this story from 1897. Seems there was another Negro postmaster in Georgia, too, by the name of Isaiah Lofton. And he was nearly killed after several attempts on his life before he resigned. But this other Negro postmaster in South Carolina wasn't so lucky. They found Fraser B. Baker and his daughter dead in 1898 after the house was burnt to the ground by an angry mob. Can you imagine? Good day, Mrs. Cox. You take care now.
Wayne! Wayne! Wayne!
M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I.
He was out for blood, Minnie. You had to get out. Yes, Mississippi has a bloodthirst as long as the Mississippi River, and a history that's just as crooked.
But President Roosevelt wouldn't let you resign.
He refused my resignation.
Some other citizens and I, we wrote to the president. We even spied for him and reported back on how things were going with Vardaman and his mob.
But the death threats kept coming.
President Roosevelt wanted to send in federal troops to protect me.
But the tensions got so heated that I closed the post office there in January.
President Roosevelt insisted that I continue to collect my salary until 1904 for an entire year until my term expired.
Better your term expired than you.
I rerouted the town's mail to Greenville. The citizens of Indianola then had to travel 25 miles to the nearest post office. And I had the Attorney General prosecute those who threatened Mrs. Cox. Mrs. Minnie Cox. I apologize for their abhorrent behavior, and I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Minnie's story made national news. The United States Senate debated the controversy for 4 hours. And on February 7th, 1903, the Cleveland Gazette ran the following headline: Miss Minnie Cox, Post-Mistress of Indianola, Mississippi. A quiet and efficient public servant, driven from office by Southern white brutes.
The post office did reopen, but it was demoted back to a 4th-class station, and I refuse to accept that position again. No more of that mess for me.
And that's alright because I see good things ahead for you. Bigger and better things.
Oh yeah? Like what?
You'll return to Indianola.
Hooray! Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, and Minnie, you'll find a very lucrative new life in, well, let's just say banking. And of all things, life insurance.